I know. Y'all are confused. So was I. But as they say, this too shall pass.
The great voice from beyond. Black Ops 7's biggest zombie villain has just now been explained. Jebediah, or Jebediah Brown, if you will, the creator of the Pack-a-Punch. Alleged, we'll get into that soon enough. Now, what if I told you that the most important character in Call of Duty Zombies history might not even be Richtofen, Samantha, or even the Apothecans, but a forgotten blacksmith from the 1800s that we can go all the way back to the map Buried to go see where this is taking place and also see where our boy, what's his name, got trapped there. But I forgot his name. But in Black Ops 7, Treyarch has teased a terrifying new antagonist for the zombies, a figure whispered about as the great voice from beyond, the Shadow Benefactor, the Shadowsmith, Jebediah Brown. Let's be honest, he appears in the trailers carrying cages full of souls, speaking in a tone that is both ancient and menacing, and almost like a weird Western, if you will. Maybe he's, I don't even know if he's from the Western time period, but he's like some weird ancient being. I don't know. It's very weird. If the theories are correct, the theories are right. We've seen them all online as well. The villain could be none other than Jebediah Brown. Now, the man who created the very first Pack-a-Punch machine, now coming back to reclaim the souls of which the machines we've been using to upgrade our weapons. We'll be diving into that. The leaks, the symbolism, and the answers to the very massive question. Is Jebediah Brown the new boss of zombies in Black Ops 7? And if so, what does that mean for our beloved characters? Takeo, Nikolai, Tank Dempsey, and yeah, everybody knows what's up. Richtofen and them. What is the future for zombies itself, really? Now, let's get into this. Who was Jebediah Brown? To understand why this is such a big deal, to understand why we, in fact, just care about Jebediah Brown in general, we have to rewind over a century in the zombies timeline, 100 years previous. Even before World War II, Jebediah Brown was a humble blacksmith who lived in the frontier town of the Purgatory Point in the late 1800s. He wasn't a scientist like Richtofen or Maxis. He wasn't even a soldier or a chosen one or some cosmic entity like the Shadow Man. He was just a man, a dude living with his mom, trying to survive in a harsh world. But everything changed when his town discovered a strange blue rock buried deep inside of a mine, Element 115. We now know the capabilities of Element 115, but the very substance that is tied to zombies, teleportation, and the collapse of the entire dimensions was discovered in his small little town. A miner exposed to that rock turned savage and murdered Jeb's mother. This loss sent him spiraling, but when Jeb entered the mine himself, he experienced something impossible. What felt like hours underground had been days on the surface, and while in the darkness, he heard the voices from the ether. Not just any voices, angels. Beings beyond human comprehension. These voices gave him visions of a machine, a device that could empower weapons with great strength. Guided by these voices, though, Jeb constructed the first Pack-a-Punch machine. It worked, and soon travelers from across the frontier came to the Purgatory Point to use it. But the angels weren't finished with him yet. They told Jeb, the angels being in his perspective, we now know who was pulling the strings there, they told Jeb to forge an even greater artifact, the Agarthan device, a mythical object requiring the blood of an elder god, an elemental shard, and a vessel to contain both. Jeb, being a blacksmith, built this vessel, the claw, and placed it inside the Pack-a-Punch, and that's when everything fell apart. The entire town was consumed, dragged beneath the surface, overrun by the undead. Jeb's final recordings show him begging the angels to return, but they never did. He and the town of Purgatory Point were lost to history. At least, that's what we thought. Now, when I say Purgatory Point, I'm talking about Buried, right? Everybody knows Buried is Purgatory Point. Super easy, super fun fact. Now, the Shadowsmith. Today in Black Ops 7's trailers for the new zombie storyline show us something insane, something crazy. A dark figure appearing, cloaked, carrying cages filled with glowing skulls, soul screaming inside of it. His voice is pretty much otherworldly, echoing throughout the room, if you will, commanding like an announcer from the void. That was pretty cool. I like what I did there. He's called the Shadowsmith, or in whispers the great voice from beyond. This isn't just another zombies boss. This is someone who's forging souls, manipulating the undead, and corrupts our very beloved heroes and characters themselves. And the community has immediately noticed something. One, the smith, the blacksmith, shadow, darkness. Everything just points to Jebediah Brown. So let's break this down. Think about it. He was guided by a mysterious voice. He built a machine that reshaped reality. His town was lost to the void. What if Jeb didn't die? And the angels just weren't angels, but dark aether entities. Could be the Apothecans. Could be anybody, right? The Shadowsmith, I 100% believe could be Jeb Reborn. A corrupted, transcendent form of the man that once gave survivors the gift of Pack-a-Punch, but now instead of empowering the weapon, he empowers shadows and souls. Instead of giving life, he takes it. It's like a weird inversion, if you would. Like the creator becomes a destroyer, right? The benefactor becomes a tormentor. Now, why does this all matter? You might be asking, okay, cool, Horizon, but why does this even, who cares, bro? Like, you're chopped. This video's chopped, bro. Like, nobody's listening anymore. Zombies has had countless villains before the Apothecans, the Shadowman, the Forsaken, Dr. Monty, but what about the Shadowsmith, or what makes the Shadowsmith special, right? The answer is simple. He ties every single one of these people together. For years, Zombies lore has been about science colliding with mysticism between Element 115, teleporters, the Aether, the Dark Aether, but where did it all begin? Jebediah Brown was the undoing of the universe. Jebediah Brown set forth the path to which our four beloved heroes, Nikolai, Richtofen, Takeo, and Tank Dempsey, started with the fractures. But this all goes to point zero with Jebediah Brown. He's the first human connection to that cycle, to the fractal universe, to the gates being closed and then opened and then manipulated and opened again and again and again. The Shadow Man, right? Dr. Monty, all of this. He is point zero, the first man to also harness element 115 in this timeline that was specifically closed up, but he's no longer a man of time, right? The first man to hear voices from the beyond. By bringing him back in BO7, Treyarch isn't just making like a cool new villain. They're closing the circle and they're expanding upon the story even more. It also raises terrifying stakes. In the trailers, we see him corrupting or caging the souls of Richtofen, Dempsey, Takeo, and Nikolai, and the other four as well. From the, not the Forsaken, I forgot the last name of the Black Ops 6 map, but it is what it is, that's not really important. For the first time in years, though, the heroes we've trusted to fight the undead might not even be safe themselves. They can be turned, they can be broken, they can be influenced, and they probably just aren't fighting for survival anymore. It's a fight for their souls and the characters themselves. Now, how exactly does the Shadowsmith or Jebediah work? Like, what are his abilities? How might they shape him in Black Ops 7 gameplay? Now, the soul extraction, the cages he carries aren't just decorations, they're prisons. Each skull is captured soul. In game, this could mean characters or NPCs could be corrupted, turned against you, or needing to be freed. Now, the corrupted Pack-a-Punch. If he is Jeb, he might have control over the Pack-a-Punch. Imagine if the machine you've relied on over a decade now is compromised, twisting weapons into cursed versions and refusing to work until you break this hold. It might be a way to unlock Pack-a-Punch, might be a way to unlock crazy upgrades, might be even a way to down a player by accident. That one would really mess everybody up. I don't think they'd be doing that, going that far. But anyways, the Dark Announcer role in past games, Samantha or the Shadowman acted as the voice guiding the match. The Shadowsmith could take this role, max ammo, all that kind of stuff. It'd be pretty cool. It could mock you, tempt you, or even alter rules mid-game. Who knows, right? Possession of characters. Not likely, but it would be the most chilling possibility. Temporary corruption of your own teammates. Story-wise, this could mean the OG crew could be turned evil. Gameplay-wise, it could mean moments where allies are briefly controlled, forcing you to fight or save them or auto-downed. It's really all up to mysticism. Now, we can move on to a more narrative theme. That's just gameplay speculation. Beyond mechanics, the Shadowsmith represents some of the deepest themes Zombies has ever tackled. Now, the corruption of legacy, the voices from beyond, the no hero is safe clause, creation versus destruction. We can get into all this. Now, Jeb's Pack-a-Punch for the corruption of the legacy of the Pack-a-Punch, and maybe even perks, but we all know Dr. Monty made the perks, and Jeb made the Pack-a-Punch. Now, Pack-a-Punch was meant to empower survivors. Now that power has been twisted. The very foundation of Zombies is corrupted. We saw this before, and something that was almost trivial was Dr. Monty and the perk machines. Why was he making these perk machines to help us if he was just going to be evil in the long run? Maybe, just maybe, Jeb has other plans for us. He has other plans for the universe. Maybe we get a revision of Dr. Monty. Maybe the Shadow Man comes back, right? Who knows? Or Nyarlathotep is what the Shadow Man is supposed to be. It's the Call of Duty version of Nyarlathotep. What if we have a giant cosmic battle? It's no longer the Apothecans versus the I forgot, they're not Argonians, that's Skyrim. The Apothecans versus the Apothecan Keepers. Excuse me, I forget the alien dudes, the ones that are more corrupted, other than the Keepers, because we had corrupted Keepers and all that other kind of stuff too. Who knows? But he could just be helping us, and this is the final moment. I helped you all along this way. I've coerced you. I've seen what you can do. Now it's my turn. The voices from beyond. Now, Jeb's story began with voices in a mine shaft. We've saw these voices happen before. I believe Brock and Gary, or what was his name? The two people in not Shinonuma. What is that mountain map called? I forgot what it was called. Absolutely insane. But it was on Mars and it was on Earth. Yeah, I didn't really like the map. I didn't play it that much. There was a gun, made everybody a baby. You know what I'm talking about. But they also heard voices too. So I'm wondering if it's kind of the same thing. But we do know that they were being influenced by either Richtofen or the Shadow Man, stuff like that. Could get that totally wrong. I do not have my storyboard up to even reference that, but I'm pretty sure Brock and Gary, the two explorers that were found in the jungle, or got lost in that time slip in the jungle, were hearing similar voices too. I totally could be wrong. But Jeb's story began with voices in her mind. Well, were they angels or demons or something? Black Ops 7 could finally reveal the truth and show how easily human faith can be manipulated. I mean, we've already seen this before. Look at Transit, right? We've already seen the people that eat the skin and everything like that. And what's his name? It's all Misty Carlton, all that. Maybe we get a route out about that story too. Now, no hero is safe. In this clause too. I want to talk about the no hero safe clause. By threatening to infect the OG crew, Trek makes it very, very clear. Nostalgia will not protect and will no longer protect your favorite characters. Everyone and anyone. Excuse me. Dude, I'm jumping down and popping back up on my script right now. It's insane. They can all die. At any moment in time, they could just all fall. Let's go into the creation versus destruction narrative now. I'm going back up to the top of my script. Now, the blacksmith who once built these weapons now forges shadows, steals souls. The same hammer that gave humanity a chance now threatens to crush it underneath the weight. It's almost, who was that writer? Shakespearean. It's mythic. And it's exactly the kind of high-stakes storytelling zombies needs. And it's what it was thriving on for a very, very long time. Now, how could this all really play out going into Black Ops 7 further, right? The game begins with the Terminus crew, the newer characters. They're trying to contain outbreaks in the ruins of civilizations. Suddenly, they're confronted by the Shadowsmith, who unleashes hordes of shadow-infused zombies. However, during the cutscene, the Shadowsmith traps the souls of the original crew inside the cages, Richtofen, Dempsey, Takeo, and Nikolai, and they appear like they're not allies. They're corrupted, twisted versions of themselves. They're from different time periods. Throughout the season, players must free the OG souls, maybe, one by one, by battling the corrupted forms and breaking the Shadowsmith's cages. Each map becomes both a fight against zombies and a rescue mission with Easter eggs as a whole. But here's the absolute twist of what I think it could play out as. Every time you free one, the Shadowsmith grows stronger because he feeds on the act of conflict itself. By the end, even if you do rescue everyone, he still stands ascendant as being, someone who has transcended death, memory, and time. Every time we've used the Pack-a-Punch machine, he possibly could have gotten stronger. It sets up an endgame where Black Ops 7 could either, one, destroy him once and for all, closing the book on the older zombies lore, or leave him alive and the new great villain who replaces the Apothecans and Monty for the next generation, going into the next cycle of the game. The risk-reward factor is absolutely endless with this possibility as well. Do we really have a cycle, or is this just a long chain of events with a bunch of loops that we had to keep feeding back through to get to the one true timeline? Is this really a fractured universe, or are we just seeing dimensions of ourselves that we just don't exist in anymore because they were closed out at the end of Black Ops from the Alpha Omega ending, right? Of course, making Jebediah Brown the new villain extremely risky. It could not even be him. Like, this could all just be completely washed. If it's handled poorly, fans could see it as a disrespectful thing, right? After all, Jeb was once a tragic figure. Turning him into a mustache-twirling villain would make him a little cheesy. If it's handled well, though, it could elevate him into one of the most complex antagonists zombies has ever had. A name betrayed by angels, right? Jebediah Brown, betrayed by the Apothecans, or the Shadow Man, or the Keepers, twisted by grief and corrupted by forces and the Aether he never understood. No chance. We saw that happen with what's his name in the first map, the one that had Kino der Toten at the beginning of Black Ops Cold War, right? He was twisted in the Aether. Samantha twisted in the Aether, right? Or the Aether, however you want to say it. The reward is huge. It gives Black Ops 7 a villain who isn't just evil for evil's sakes, but a corrupted human legacy at stake. It ties the past to the present, and it makes zombies feel like one of the most unified stories again. Now, in conclusion, maybe he's a new entity. Maybe he's just another evil villain in a long story of cosmic horrors and things beyond our human comprehension, but the evidence, the symbolism, and the community's collective gut all point to the one truth. Everyone's been making videos on this, and I'm 100% convinced of it as well. The Shadowsmith is Jebediah Brown, the blacksmith who built the Pack-a-Punch, the man who first heard voices in that mine, the forgotten creator who has finally returned, not as a savior, but as the ultimate shadow. And if that's true, Black Ops 7 isn't just another chapter in zombies, it's the reckoning of everything that the mode has ever been about. Power, corruption, greed, voices from the beyond, and the eternal struggle for the soul of all of humanity. Now, what do you guys think of this? Let me know in the comments below. Is Jebediah Brown back with the OG crew survive this corruption, or is Treyarch about to pull the rug out from under us with a completely new villain? Are they just selling for nostalgia's sake? Let me know in the comments below. See you on the next one. If you guys like these kind of short video essay things, let me know. I'll try to make more. Maybe I'll do one about the entire zombie storyline. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you on the next one. Subscribe if you're brand new, and I'm out of here.